Hello, everyone. It's great to have this episode because we have a very special guest. We have Karo here. Do you want to say hi? Hi.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Marietta, for the invitation.
So this episode would be Marietta and I would be here to have a chat with Carol to see her journey in Python and see what she's been doing, and hope that people can get inspired from her story. So first of all, maybe I would like to ask Carol some question. Maybe before all these like more deep dive question, you want to tell a little bit about yourself and about kind of why Python? Why you start Python?
Yeah, it's a really big question. Like usually sometimes we forget about what we have been doing in our life and how we can inspire other people, but usually that is not something that we are thinking all the time, right? So I will try to put like together what I was thinking to answer to that question that is like why Python? I really don't know the exact like reason or root for that. I think it was like a mix of reasons that was happening in my life at that moment. And someone told me like, yeah, you should try MicroPython because I was struggling with some projects in that moment. And someone told me that, and I was maybe yes. And I started looking videos and reaching out more people. And another professor in the university that he was like trying to teach us more Python in our like laboratories and exercise. And everyone was like, no, we want to like stick with C, but that's it. Because we were working more with like microprocessors in that moment, and everyone was like, yeah.
So is it related to your work, or is it something that you studied before? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your background, like what do you do now,
sure.
and like.
Yeah. Well, I have a background in robotics engineer, and I also have a master's degree in data analytics. And I have been working like in the hardware industry, creating like machines, robot like installations, animatronics, and sort of things. Uh, I'm more related with the art industry, like galleries and helping artists to create different installations and art pieces. And like about 5 years ago, I started more to get more involved in the software industry, helping more people. Uh, I started as a project manager, and then I become a product manager. So right now I'm helping more, like I'm working more in product creation, product design, product development, and yeah.
Will you say you self learn Python? Yeah.
Yeah, I started myself, and I got help. I really received many help from my professor, and then he told me there is something in the internet like look in YouTube, look for like at that moment was Plaxi, and look for like other different places that are like trying to teach in like the easy journey in Python. And at some point I found an Slack that was Python Colombia. So I found a link to join Python Colombia, and like I was really welcoming, and everyone was like, yeah, here are all the channels, like a rain of channels, like all the Slacks that we have, and it was like you can introduce yourself here, and you can ask your questions here, and these are the list of topics that you can be talking about Python. So I start understanding all the ecosystem behind Python, and it was a really open mind at that moment. I was only expecting that the same that we expect in the academy, that you learn something specifically for do something, and that's it. But no, Python is more than a tool that you can use into really multiple environments and industries and solutions. So yeah, that was the next step. So Python Colombia appears in the equation. Yeah.
It's very interesting how you like discover Python Colombia. Is it like your professor told you about it, or like how, or you just like Google and found out like Python
I was
Colombia? Or how
I
do you
was
discover it?
googling. I was Googling and I found like at the webpage, and they were like trying to put like, hey, this is the GitHub repository and this is the Slack, and that is where we are. It wasn't like that moment they didn't have Telegram or the other or Discord as they have right now. It wasn't that big, but I realized that a couple of friends were in that Slack. Like I
Yeah.
could get the invitation from them, so I started asking like, hey, you are there, and one of them told me like, I don't know what you are talking about. And the other one was like, yeah, I know. I really know. Like, I understand the two phases, right? Like, if many people in the communities are like just join and they are there, but they are not part. But there are others that are really, really involved. So, like, could be neither of both, but they gave me the opportunity to join because it's by invitation in that Slack. So he gave me the invitation, and at that
So it's by
moment,
invitation to join the event, or is it by
this
invitation
the
to
Slack,
join
the
the
Slack,
Slack? Okay.
the Slack. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like that, I think they still have that, and now I'm part of the people that approve the invitations, because like the invitation is really really funny. You like they provide your name and or your email, and they say like, hey, this is a friend or this is someone from this meetup or from someone from this university, and we understand that the people that is joining us are not bots and are not people that just want to like post in like a recruiter. That is not bad to have the recruiters in our environment, but we have rules to not getting spammed in our own Slack.
Yeah.
So they have that like a filter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
now
by
folks
invitation.
know who to talk to now. So that would be
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to you. So it's good.
Definitely.
That's like our viewer now have the advantage.
Yeah,
If they want to join PyCon Colombia, they will have to talk to you.
Yep.
I think
Marietta?
personally, is the hearing what you said. It sounds like it's you learn by yourself. I mean, you learned about Python because of your own self motivation. Like it, even though you have lots of people to help, but it's inspiring to hear that you took the steps yourself. Like you figure out who to talk to. You ask questions. So I think that's just how the journey should be, right? So it's very inspiring for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Marietta.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I just remember something else too, that
Mhm.
when I was finishing the bachelor of engineering, like a really marvelous professor appears. Like he was the new hire in the university, and he was like really into ROS, the robotics operating system that you can use using Python. And I was like, I want to do, like, it was a crazy idea that took me like 1 year and a half to build, that I still like, I think like how I got into that journey, I don't know, but I made it, and I'm really really happy for that. I learned a lot of like many stuff, like industrial designer, like how to build my own robots, how to program them. Like it was a massive project, and all by myself and my professor. And he pushed me more. Like he was like, I was afraid in that moment about the English barrier. I was like having that wall in my life. Like I didn't have the confidence. I could read in that moment any papers, or I could do a tutorial or follow a video, but I wasn't having the confidence to talk or to give a talk or something like that. And he was like, go ahead. Like I just like send your talk to this conference, and now you have to go. And he was like, go ahead, like you can do it. And I think he is like a really big part of this journey. So I want to like, so thanks to
Yeah.
him, like, yeah, Olmer, my professor
Yeah.
Olmer. Yeah. And that is like what I understand after, when we were like working with PyLadies. Like here in Colombia, we have like a um, I don't know if maybe something different in the culture. Like we don't feel as a woman safe to go to a place at night. It could be just like for a group of study or for a meetup, like between 6 and 9 p.m. It's not something that is easily for us to do, for many reasons, like the insecurity, the transportation. Like you can find any excuse, but we realized when we started in Bogota and in Medellin and in Cali that if we made the meetup completely open, for anyone that wants to join us. Like the girls that were in university were bringing them the father, the grandparent, like could be their brother, like anyone that can be with her, like joining the meetup and like helping her to feel safe, and then just like to close the day and keep only the knowledge and enjoy the moment without thinking that something bad is going to happen after. So that was one of the reasons. Like we have spaces where we are only a woman in the space, but usually we do those in Saturdays, and we involve also the children for those girls that are already mommies. So but when it's during the weekday, and at night, we usually make it open for everyone, and we are receiving really really nice people. And that brings me in my mind my professor. Like he was a man like shooting at me behind, like, hey Karo, you can do it, and go, and we can go and ask the university for the expenses, or maybe we can do like a raffle and find money for your sponsorship, and you can travel. And that was something that like changed my mind. That was like a really big switch. Hmm.
Yeah, I think I really like your story, because I think it inspired not just women but like for allies that actually having a good mentor is very 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 useful, useful
Yeah.
like resources. Like so if any alliance they want to mentor, that like I mean that like we again like resonate about what you said about Pi Ladies meetup, that is it doesn't need to be a like women only environment, but it's like maybe women driven environment. There's like if their
Mhm.
allies want to be there to be supportive role, like for example if the participant bring another male family member to support them so they feel safe, then I think that is a very caring move that I really appreciate that. And also I wonder, because you said that, oh, your professor kind of encouraged you to do all of these. So how do you? Because I know you are helping to organize like PyCon Colombia and also like PyLady. So like how do you start doing that? Like, did you start PyLady, or like how do you start becoming someone who kind of leading all these events and stuff?
That was really interesting. Like after I joined the community, and I was like still in the university, um, we were having like IEEE group in the university. So I was leading that group. So I learned a lot thanks to the university, like to organize events and how to like get the sponsorship and how to execute and the invoices and all the work that you need to do behind to make an event happen. Um, so when I hear, and that was in the Slack, that hey, we are starting Pi Ladies Medellin, and we know that there is Pi Ladies Bogota, but we are not in Bogota. That was a couple of girls that were in Medellin. It was another Carolina, and also Stephanie in Medellin. And I was like, hey, I would like to resume whatever that is here in Bogota. So I raised my hand, and they were okay, let's do it together. And so we sent them the application to like get again the access to the email, and all like we start pinging different people to start like getting back the accounts, because that happens sometimes. Like okay, who has the access to this Twitter, or who has the access to this account, and all the drive and all the files. So we start looking for that, and like by the time different people start, okay, I have access to this, I can give you access, and we start organizing the house. And that was around 2018. So Medellin and Bogota started at the same time. And in that moment, Medellin was in that big moment. Like that is like a label that we have here in Colombia, that is the Silicon Valley of Latin America, that is managing that like it's too big, and many things are happening, and all the government are doing those efforts for getting more startups, and that environment is safe for the nomads and for all the developers that want to come here. So Medellin start growing like faster than Bogota. But they like Medellin got really really like those connections and with the sponsors, so those sponsors from Medellin start helping Bogota. So that was like a chain that was really really nice. And those companies that were like starting in Medellin, they start at some point reaching out the people and the ecosystem in Bogota. Bogota is kind of like the double of Medellin and move like a like really big amount of money too. So it was like another different market for the company. So when they start arriving, like in 2019, more companies start opening the offices in Bogota. So we start using the auditoriums and the like those rooms that they were allocating, like because they had like in mind that it was like a really good movement of communities in Bogota as well than Medellin. So when they opened the offices, they were taking into account that, okay, we have to at least have a space for 30 people, 40 people. And they start saving those spaces for us. And everything started growing. And now Medellin, Bogota, we are like about the same amount of members. And Cali is raising too. Cali started 1 year ago, and now we are looking like to encourage more girls across the different cities in our country to start other chapters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. But personally, what keep you going? Because I mean, you
Well,
could
I
have back in the time, you could have say,
yeah, it's true.
okay, I wish someone do that. But why you put
Yeah,
your
it's
hands up,
true.
and say, oh, I would do it.
I think because I learned, I don't know when, but I learned that it is really nice how the life works to paying forward what you receive. Like I receive a lot of work, a lot of love and work and help from different people. Like it was like could be professors, could be someone from the university, or could be just my family and friends. So I was thinking that I really got many privilege to like be an engineer. I am the first engineer in my family, for
Wow.
example. So I feel that I would like to make that other girls like have those privileges, that has those opportunities that at the end are not that privileged, like are not that like uh exclusive. Like they are there, like the opportunities are there, but we are afraid to take those challenges that at the very beginning could be really scary, but after that you will see that you are not alone. So I want like to like give that to them, and that is kind of my voice all the time that I have in a meeting or a meetup or anything. Is like, hey, you can do it. Nothing bad is going to happen. So let's do it together. If you are afraid at the beginning, we can be here for you, and that is what we are trying to with Pad Ladies, and now we are like more than 10 leaders, and I'm thinking that I would like to I start like taking some steps back. Like I just like to start. Okay, let's document this, and now you are the leadership for this, and you are now the lead for this, and like we start moving forward, like giving them more power to feel that they are completely capable to do it, but to feel that they don't need me to be there all the
Yeah.
time to accomplish the same things, because they can't do it without me, and I don't know how many years I'm going to last, how much energy I'm going to have the following years. So yeah, we need to transfer that knowledge too. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is pretty much like my motto, like to transfer all the
Yeah.
things that I receive to others. Yeah.
I feel again really so inspiring to hear this story, like because like you were initially yourself was supported and helped by your professor, and then now you yourself are able to even support even more women. And I think in the future, the women you support, they will further support more women. So it's just how the pay it forward. I really think it's really inspiring, and it's just it works. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely works. Really, like the effect that we generate in others, just like giving the right words, or just like saying hello, or accepting, or replying an email and forward, like adding someone else that maybe I cannot help you, but this person maybe will help you. That those are the really minor actions that could change the lives of anyone, any person that reach out you.
Yeah, Yeah, I found it like I resonate a lot about it because like I also get involved in lots of community work, and I also feel that sometimes I got like, oh, it's a bit much and I miss doing like technical stuff. So I wonder like how, because now my role is like totally not involving coding. I'm like, mainly community work. So, but I do want to keep up like kind of, still want to do technical stuff maybe in the future. So how could you think that, like, for example, if you now, for example, you're also now in a leadership role in your work, so how could you keep up with all this like technical stuff that, like, if you want to keep on doing, how would you manage? Yeah.
Like when we are in a leadership position, we have like more responsibility, and it's like that is the truth. And if I want my team and our product to be the best, we need to be like using the cutting edge applications or stack or firewalls or whatever that we want to call it. So we need to be like up to date on what is happening and what the people is using and what the surveys are saying and what the organizations like the Python Software Foundation is saying. So we need to be there. And I think I really have like a sure road to get that information, that is the community. So in the community, there are always like conversations, like someone like cool post like, do you know about this framework, do you know about this, like I found this repository in GitHub and is doing like really interesting things, and they have notebooks or they have this or they like it could be a really bold behavior that could start somewhere that we don't know exactly when, but is there. So that is kind of my way to keep the pace, because everything is changing so fast too. So I try to keep the pace on Discord or in the chats, that the different chats that the people are raising, and even not like always interacting. Sometimes I only give a reaction and like, good, thank you for sharing, and that's it. But sometimes it's like something that could be more like involving my interest right now. So I could start the discussion and making questions. So even if I don't use the stack or the new framework or application, I try to like see the very first like getting started guys or a video or something that can explain to me how that works, and maybe transfer that like interest to my team or to my developers. Or if it's something that I believe that is like really really big change, I take the time and I usually allocate a couple of hours in a week to study something new. So I use those like those couple of hours, like, okay, I'm going to sit and read here. What is happening? And even if I try and everything's a mess, I try it, and maybe it's not that easy, or maybe I'm not reading well, but that keeps me in a technical perspective, even if I'm not using Python daily, yeah, or coding daily. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. You showed that actually, like, because I know that some engineer will be like, "Oh, my manager doesn't know this," and like, I think you show a really good point of like, oh, even if you're in a leadership position, you still have to like keep up to date. You still have to know what's going on, even if you're not like hands on doing it. I think, well, of course, we appreciate people who can do it hands on, but like, I think we also, on the other hand, appreciate people who are, kind of have a lot of responsibility, but still kind of keep understanding the technology and up to date and be helpful to the rest of the team.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
also that what that we are not our work. Like we are human beings that needs time to understand a topic, like provide a solution, like reflect about any possible throws or solutions, and then execute. We are not executing all the 8 hours on a day, and that is like a false reality. That is not true. So we need time to process information, and right now that like we have tools. I know we have AI, we have chats, we have many things that could help us to process the information quickly, but we need to make sure that we are processing that information in our mind. Like, I really understand it, or I'm just copy and paste. So
Yeah.
so I think that is something that we are missing, because we want, and the company and the product and the market want quicker results, and that is something that is is pushing really hard on us, and it could be anyone in our community or in other communities, like development communities, is really hard. Like that, we need to make like a whole dashboard in one day, or we need to implement this dashboard in one day, or we need to do I don't know how many reports in one day, and like it's okay. Like take it easy. Sometimes we can make it in one day, but after a couple of days of research or investigation, and if the result will be better. So if that is like a call for everyone that could help to could hear this podcast. Like, take the time to think and plan your solutions. Yeah, and investigate and research, of course.
So regarding that, I mean, so what if, because, well, you make a very good point for people who are already working in, let's say they're working in a technical team. They, of course, like for something that's new for them, they can take time to research, like you said. But what if someone want to start, right? Someone want to learn coding, that they may not be working as an engineer or working in a technical team at the moment, but they may want to do a career change, or maybe they are like we were studying something, and then we want to start like coding. And so how would you suggest, like, do people still have to spend a lot of time on research, or people who, let's say, go to a PyLadies and join a workshop, something like that? So what would you recommend?
For each person, sorry, it will be a different way. So I would like to recommend to find the way that you like to learn. So and put all the variables. Okay, I want to do this in a limit of 2 months. I want to change my career and I only have 1 quarter to do it, or I have 6 months at least to do it. So what is my time frame? So if I want to do it in a more intense way, or if I have the time, so I'm going to go to a meetup and just see if I feel the vibe. So we have in the community plenty things that you can do. So you can join us in a future of meetup, or you can follow us and review the videos that we already post. We have like a good amount of like really dummy welcome to Python videos that you can just rewatch and see if you think. And we have workshops, of course. So sometimes like we do really starting beginners workshop for different like industries or fields. So what else? I also can recommend that if you want to start and you are completely sure that you want to start with Python, that usually is the way is the easy way to start. Like the learning curve for coding with Python is really nice. Is friendly, and there are a lot of people open to explain to you. Or of you don't want if you don't want to speak with someone, you can also find more resources. Like it could be like there are millions of resources online. Even you don't need to pay. Like many of them are completely free. So you can switch between and you can choose, but don't keep switching forever. That is another advice. So you can choose one. If you don't like it, okay, switch to another one. But if something else what is happening, try to find the reason, the root of the cause that you don't understand a topic, and maybe the next step is not switching to another resource. Maybe it's looking for a mentor. And in the communities, we have like really big amount of people that is open, and we have labels and roles in our Discord that is people that is mentor, and you can filter by mentor, and you can just ping them and hey, I'm trying to do this, and I'm not able to. And I know people that has slots of times. They have a calendar available. Could be just 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I have my own, for example, where I can help people. Could be any topic, IoT, art, or finding a learning cube, a learning path. Sorry. So could be any question that you may have. I know that will be a person that will be open to answer. So first of all, join the community. We are really nice people. We are going to be open to help you anytime, and then you can follow
Yeah.
your own path. You will be defining your own path, so you will follow your instincts, and you will see that is really nice. It's satisfactory when you found that you were like trying to understand this, and finally you understand this, but plenty amount of things more. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I feel
mentioned the
so.
workshop because yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mentioned workshop because Karo helped us to organize some humble data workshops. So
Yeah,
yeah, she's very
awesome.
experienced in. doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, feel really related to that because it is also through the Python community that I learn a lot. Like, I even learned about how to contribute to open source and speaking. Like, I got mentors as well, and I feel that's the difference of the Python community. Like, the fact that there is a community that is willing and wanting to help you, and all you need to do is just learn and then pay it forward, right? So that's yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could say that there are not more welcome community than the Python community. It's incredible. It's anyone anywhere is really like, ah, you are in the Python community, nice. Where like you know these people and like we are like really like everyone knows each other. So it's wonderful when you go in that circle is incredible. It's really really nice and inspiring. Mhm.
Yeah, I think that like joining the community is a very good way because if you do it yourself, it's very high chance you would give up. But if you do it with the community, you kind of like feel like you're not alone. You kind of you won't
Mhm.
procrastinate so much, and you're more
Yeah,
motivated to do something. So that's
yeah,
why when I was like learning Rust, I also start to like maybe film myself. So I kind of want to get more support from my viewers. That is still better than doing it yourself. But
yeah,
how could someone, let's say, especially women who maybe feel that tech is very not something they would aspire to do when they were a girl, because in my culture, when you grow up, if you're a girl, then you probably won't get encouraged to do like engineering or science or or coding. So I think especially for women, a community, a supportive network is very important. But how can they find out? Because like I mean, you were lucky to have a professor that's very supportive, and then you found Python Colombia and find a friend who get you into the Slack. But how like except that they have to find you to get into the Slack? How can someone find a way in?
You know, I think, and we believe a lot here in Colombia that the voice to voice is like the best way to make something happen. So we try to tell that to anyone that join us. Like even if you are just hearing that even your own daughter or your niece or someone that you hear that we like to start coding, just send them the web page. We have a web page. So piladies.co. So you can just like find the chapter that is closer to you or the meetup that you would like to see or to watch, because we are always like streaming our events like after the pandemic. Every like our mind changed and we realized that many of our people just left the country, and we want to keep there for them. So that is why we keep streaming all the events. And for new people that is coming after, or for people that is from other places of the world, they can be part of us. and and the way that they can like look for us, we are pretty much in all the social medias. I think we are in Instagram, TikTok, like everywhere. Like if they search by Python, or like we are trying to do our homework well, that is putting all the hashtags and tagging all the different communities. We are trying to be there for all of them. I hope if they don't find us in the very first search, someone can let us know that we exist and we are here for them, and they only need to click on a follow, or they can only click and join us in our Discord server, where we are like talking about different topics all the time. So yeah, we are there. We are here for them. Yeah. I hope they could find it, like they could find us easily. We have been asking us that, Chuck, really long time ago, like how we can reach them. Like we try to reach out also, like school professors or different parents. Like my mom helped me a lot when I was a kid. Also, she was like, you can explore and you can play with anything that you want, and I really appreciate that she did that, because I was I was really into robotics since my 12 years old, something like that. Like she was like, okay, you want a robot? Okay, let's go and find a robot. I didn't want a Barbie. After I want a Barbie, but then it was like a robot, and she was like, okay, let's go with the robot, and then it was like a party
Yeah.
of robots and Barbies. Who knows? So
Yeah, that's
why
fun.
I was that is really funny, and she was like, okay, let's do it. When we receive parents in our meetups, we try to encourage them to do the same because the girls, like the women, are like we are feeling lost in the process of finding like a I want to feel that I have something that identify myself and I'm good at that and I'm getting like that inspiration to wake up and get up from the bed and say, okay, this is what I want to do today. And we are struggling, and that is like from decades ago. We are struggling a lot to find that, and since the industry is moving that fast, I don't know how fast we are moving as generations and as parents, teaching them that they have like a sea of possibilities and they can do whatever that they want. I think the academy, the industry, the schools, like we need to find like connecting us. Like I don't know, like you can be at the school, you can be at the university, but you can be also part of the community. So pilot is not something that you need to be exclusive, and that's it. Not like something that you could be just there liking, following us, sharing, assisting to the meetups, attending to the meetups, and that's it. That is what we need from you, and that is what is changing the 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 scenic. But I don't know. Like I'm that is a open question, Jen. Chuck. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I go back to the point that we need allies. I think like we need
Yeah.
people who tell whoever they know that, oh, they may want to learn this, or they are like, you may have a friend who come to you and say that, oh, I'm a bit struggling with what I'm doing, I don't like what I'm doing right now, I want to try something new, and you think that they will be great coding, then just like, hey, come to this Palladium and learn. Yeah, I do sometimes have people who say like, oh, they want to invite, like maybe introduce their spouse to coding, or a coworker. Or, I know that, like, for example, Carol, you bring some of your coworker in to like help organizing things in the community as well. So I think, yeah, so it's good to have a presence online so people can easily find you, but at the same time, I think, there's so many things out there in the internet still, like reference and word of mouth is maybe the traditional way to bring people in. Yeah.
There is a
Yeah.
challenge, but if
So
someone hears us and knows another way to reach out to people, please just let us know. Like
Yeah.
like we need ideas too. Like we are open to execute new ideas, and we are here to make everything you need aside to make that happen. So we are really in a willing way or status or mood to help everyone. And I really hope, I wish like at some point we are like always having a chart of increasing, like we after each meetup we have like between 50 or 60 new people followers, and we have always those peaks, but I would like to see one day one huge peak to understand like what else we can do, what we did, what like, and even if we are following all the instructions that Instagram gives you or TikTok gives you, like post one story one day and two stories per day or two posts per day, and even if you follow all of those, you like we are not yet influencers. So
yeah,
yeah, like we're still not in the eyes of the algorithm, so we are still not like viral, and I wish we could be viral, like many people following us and like getting our content, that we really take the time to build, to prepare, and to post the content, as for example you both are doing with this podcast. It's like that is a really big effort that many people do in the community, and I know that we are reaching our people at an audience, but I wish we can reach out more people each time. But I don't know. Maybe like the algorithm is thinking on different, and we are not selling something here, so it's weird. So yeah, it's a challenge.
yeah. That's really a challenge. So So I think we are almost at the end. So do you have one last thing or anything you want to tell the viewers, or just like spread the word to the world? Anything you have to say it. Then now is the chance.
I think I would like to add that you don't need to be coding all days to be part of the community, the Python community. Like you can use Python like once in a semester or once in a month, but you know Python and you understand Python and you are like, or you want to understand Python and you want to use it more. Like it could be any reason related to Python or maybe related to another language, programming language, or another things that you saw that maybe someone else did with Python that was easy. So you are more than welcome. So I want to open the invitation and to join really your local community for Python. I could say without any afraid to be wrong. Like I could say that mostly all the countries has at least one charter of PyLadies or Python, or it could be in your own continent. So even if you don't have it in your local town, you can open it, and you will find people that will be interested with you to chat once in a month, one in a week, and you will receive the support for all the others community members and all the other leaders and also the Python Software Foundation to help your chapter, and that could change your mind, your mindset, your ideas, and that could change your life. So I want to invite everyone to be part of the community and to join us, and and even if you don't want also an extra for the invitation, if you don't want to create like to organize the event, because I know that takes time, or if you don't want to find a sponsorship or like do the normal stuff that the people thinks that are behind of organizing a community, you can also create content. You can create an article, you can share with us like what you did for the last production release that you accomplished, or what was a problem that you like faced between an integration between different frameworks that you are using in your work at work, or like whatever that you believe that okay, this took me time to investigate and to find a solution. I'm going to create an article and I'm going to create this post, or I'm going to do this talk, and I'm going to reach out my local community and I'm going to share that knowledge, because that is going to save the time for others. And that is like
Yeah.
that is a really lovely sensation and feeling that you can say, okay, I did good, and that's it, and that
Yeah.
will be your piece of help, and you will be really welcome in the community too. So this is an invitation for you to be part.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I thought I share that that's really great idea, and that's really a great way to help the community. Like I think the content from the community is all comes from you. It's not like you can start becoming the content of Python, learning Python or using community. And we have lots of conferences all over the world that's looking for talks about Python, and you can be the one giving the talk, and you can totally do it. So I will pitch out. PyCon US 2024 is right now accepting talks, and if you have talk ideas, listen to Karo, submit a talk. And I know there are lots of other conferences going on as well. So not PyCon US, there are lots of Python conferences, lots of Python everywhere. EuroPython and Py- PyCon APAC. Really, there's a lot of them everywhere. So give a talk.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Karo.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Carol. It's so nice chatting with you, and so nice to share so much of your experience. Even I know you for a while, it's always like refreshing to know more about how you manage and how you do this and that. Is great. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.